Hello, all my beautiful souls, and welcome back to Sunrise Tarot. My name is Leah, and today I'm doing a reading for the beautiful sign of Scorpio for the month of October 2022. We are already in the month of October. I do apologize for posting this video late, but I did recently move, and so I was unpacking and cleaning, going back and forth to the old place, trying to clean that as well so I could get the most of the deposit back that I put on when I moved from Denver to the Pacific Northwest. I rented a place which was kind of in a bad neighborhood, you know, because the Pacific Northwest is just very expensive. And so now I actually was able to purchase a place. I have something to celebrate, and so as a result I had to move, and so I'm kind of running behind. And also I didn't feel so great this past week, so I did kind of take it easy, try to kind of not work so much. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me. And remember, Scorpio, your birthday is right around the corner. So you may be feeling some anxiety in the month of October, but remember, November is almost here and it is your season. It's going to be very powerful, and I think you're going to feel so much stronger and more powerful towards the end of October. Do try to keep your worry and anxiety in check, because you will have a lot to celebrate. In the past position, dear Scorpio, we have the Four of Wands clarified by the Queen of Swords. In the challenging position, we have the Magician clarified by the Star. In the present position, we have the King of Pentacles, great, wonderful card, clarified by the Eight of Wands. And in the future outcome position, we do have the Ten of Swords clarified with the Ten of Wands clarified with the Ten of Swords, which tells me there is a cycle that is coming to an end. You're about to begin a brand new cycle, so that should be very exciting. I also should mention that some of the reading may not resonate with all of you. Only take the parts that resonate and stand out to you, and don't, you know, take the rest. What doesn't resonate, just leave it for someone else. But in the past position, I really like that you have the Four of Wands, because it tells me that you invested a lot in your foundation. You've invested a lot of time and energy in your family, in your friends, in the people that you work with. There are some really trustworthy, wonderful people around you who want to see you succeed, who are really excited to be in your circle of family and friends. But there was some clarity that you received in the past as well, because the Queen of Swords, she is all about seeing with clarity and being logical, and to a certain amount detached, so she can see, you know, things from a higher perspective. And so definitely you were able to build a strong foundation, which is going to really help you, especially this month and next month. Remember that from this kind of moment forward through the end of the year, there's a lot of astrological movement. There's a lot of movement of planets. There's a lot of movement of the stars. And so it's going to have an effect on us internally as well as externally. We just had the huge, really bad hurricane go through Florida. We had that flooding in Pakistan. We also had just a lot of, I don't really watch the news that much, but there's unrest in Iran. There's like a lot of things that are happening if you start paying attention. So the movements of the planets and the stars does affect that, and ultimately you will also be affected by the exterior actions and events. You're also going to be affected by the interior kind of turmoil and trying to figure out which direction you may be going towards. And so the good thing in all of that that is that your foundation is really, really strong. I do apologize, the washing machine in the background. Actually, let me go ahead and turn it off. In the challenging position, we do have the Magician clarified with the Star, which is interesting and a little bit important, significant, because the Magician and the Star are both major arcana cards. And so when the Magician appears as an obstacle, as a challenge, it tells me that you may be overly thinking overly negative. Sometimes Scorpios, you do have that trait where you kind of get fixated on something, and it's important to kind of be aware. Remember, if you're thinking negative for 5 minutes, you have to neutralize that by thinking positive for 5 minutes, so that at least you devote the same amount of energy, and there's something you can find that is positive, even though it may be not so easy. You don't want to be overly critical on yourself. Don't be overly critical, because you have done the best you could. You've had that conversation with your friend or your family. Maybe it didn't go the way you wanted it, but you did the best you could. The worst thing you can do is beat yourself up. Mistakes are learning opportunities. Anytime you learn something about yourself, it's good. Or you learn something about someone else, it's good. So it is a matter of perspective. I mean, you can really think negatively about everything. It really takes a lot of training, a lot of focus to be determined to think positively. So be determined to think positively. There may be some manipulative energy also with the Magician, because he is a well-known trickster, especially when he appears in the challenging position. But clearly there is some kind of insecurity that's coming from within you. You are smart enough. You are exactly where you need to be. You're not late for anything. You have exactly what you need to have. It may seem like other people have more, or other people are more successful. It's just a perspective. I was listening to Jordan Peterson the other day, and he was saying sometimes you drive down the street and you see somebody in a Ferrari or in a Porsche, and you think, wow, their life must be so nice. But what you might not be aware is they don't have enough money to put in the gas tank, and they may be thinking, oh my god, my life is over because I'm riding on fumes and I still have 10 more miles to go. Or they could be thinking they signed a contract that is giving them all kinds of terrible issues in their personal life. You never know what people are thinking. On the appearances, everyone looks beautiful and wonderful, but when you start looking closer, and when you start getting into their life, you start to realize, oh wow, they have so many issues or whatever. So it is a matter of perspective. Focus on your perspective, because I know there's positivity in your perspective. I know it. I feel it. And there's something to be positive in your life about, is what I'm saying. You certainly wouldn't want to be in Ukraine right now, or in Pakistan, or wherever they're having terrible issues. You know what I mean? So I know that there's something wonderful to focus on, and also when you start thinking positively about things in your life, you start thinking positively about yourself. There are wonderful things that you can do, that you have done, and so it's important to remember. It is very important to protect your energy, so make sure you do that. Make sure that it is at the top of your mind. Make sure gratitude. Be grateful. I noticed that at first it was kind of difficult for me to be grateful about. Like I thought, oh, it's silly. Why would I say thank you for this or thank you for that? So silly, so silly. I wouldn't, I don't want to be silly. I'm like a very serious person. But seriously, after I started doing it, the more you do it, the easier it becomes, and I become so much more grateful. Like I literally feel over the last 2 years, I have my gratitude has grown and grown and grown, and it's really kind of impressive. I'm very happy with how grateful I am, and there's a lot more gratitude that I have that I want to show. And so it really is a good method to keep your vibration high. Now, the star in the clarifying position tells me that you may be unrealistic about something, about creating something, manifesting something. You may be not very honest with yourself about your ability or what's going to happen in the future. So, it is important that you feel grounded. So make sure to do grounding exercises. You want to stay in your frame as much as possible, and you want to be very realistic while remaining positive, which can be hard to do, but it is achievable. Now, in the present position, we do have the King of Pentacles, which is wonderful because the King of Pentacles brings stability. He brings the Midas touch. You are definitely very successful when it comes to abundance. You know how to cultivate abundance. You know how to make your life abundant. You know how to build security, build kind of provisions for yourself. But the King of Pentacles, he's a really great card to have in the present position. He is clarified with the Eight of Wands, which means in the month of October, you're going to have to make a few decisions. You may find yourself in a position where you are kind of making a decision after a decision after a decision. And the overall general feel of October is going to be very kind of fast moving. So make sure you prioritize well and make sure that you remain flexible. But I really like the success that the King of Pentacles brings to this spread. In the future outcome position, we do have the end of the cycle. 10 of Wands and 10 of Swords is very telling. Both of these cards are 10. The burden you have been carrying is coming to an end. It's almost off your shoulders. This is why the month of November, your birthday season, you're going to pivot. You're going to generate a lot of energy. You're going to feel so much better. You have made it around the sun once more, and so you will be celebrating and recognizing the achievements that you've had in this past year. But the 10 of Wands does tell me that there's going to be an unexpected opportunity. The 10 of Swords is also bringing an unexpected opportunity. The biggest thing with 10 of Swords is negative thinking. And this is what the divine here is trying to explain to you and drive the point home, is that a lot of success rides on you, depends on you because of your thinking. You create the reality. A lot of times by having a reaction to that reality. You create the reality by creating reactions and responses and decisions and situations and all kinds of things. So make sure you're coming from a position of feeling secure and finding the best, even though it may be a little bit difficult. The 10 of Wands is a moment, as something is about to end for you. There's going to be some sort of release. You're going to feel relief. You're going to feel like the burden you've been carrying is finally off your shoulders. And with that burden, the negativity and the worry will also be kind of released from you. You have accomplished. Clearly, the accomplishments are coming through. You have spent a lot of time and energy and resources and all the wonderful things in order to get this far, and you've accomplished a lot. So one more push. You are strong enough, you're smart enough to have one more push in order to kind of get to the new cycle, because the old cycle is over. Let's see what we can clarify with the Mystical Wisdom card that I pulled earlier. And we have illusion embrace the truth. A lot of times illusions are very powerful, especially when they come from our friends, especially when they come from our families. You know, sometimes it's so hard not to believe an illusion that we want to see in our life, and so we try and incorporate it to the point where we even sometimes forget, you know, that it's an illusion. We start to believe that it is true. It is important to keep grounded, to keep your feet on the grass. You always want to be as realistic as you can, because a lot of times it can actually save you as well. Let's see what the Shaman Dream Oracle cards have for us. We've got Lost in Space, Needing Direction, and Feast of Plenty, Choices and Their Consequences. Told you there's going to be an unexpected opportunity coming your way. You also have a bee, a sure sign for abundance. There's some kind of abundance coming in for you. And you're going to like it. You're going to be pleasantly surprised by it. Probably something to do with your birthday. I'm telling you, you're going to feel so amazing in the month of November. So one last push. You just have to push through the month of October and the unpleasant moments of the month of October. There will be some good ones, especially when it comes to your security, when it comes to your successes. So, you know, remember to focus on the positive. And you do have a chance to choose a new direction. So when the cycle comes to an end with the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Swords, you have an opportunity to create more, to add to what you already have, but you have to figure out a plan and a strategy that is a lot more defined. It can't be obscure. It can't be, well, I kind of want to pursue that. Well, do you have a plan? Do you know how much it costs? Do you know what you need to do? Do you know, like, are all the boxes checked? Are all the steps being followed? You know, what are your particular strategies, you know, for this week or that week? You know, the plan has to be very well kind of outlined, because then the better the planning, the plan takes up like 80%, 90% of your time. The rest is execution. When your plan is really good, when it's really down to the nitty-gritty, the execution should be very, very easy. I hope you enjoyed this reading, dear Scorpio. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for visiting my channel, and I'll see you next time.